The ground rumbled, boom, boom. A violent tremor suddenly shot up from beneath my feet. The chandelier in the living room swung wildly. Picture frames on the walls crashed to the floor with sharp cracks, and shards of glass scattered everywhere. My heart lurched. I knew it instantly. An earthquake. Yutong. I screamed my daughter's name, almost a roar, my eyes sweeping the room. There she was, 4-year-old Yutong, frozen in terror, her tiny body trembling like a leaf in an autumn gale. Not far away, Mingyuan had just stepped out of the study, and beside him was the illegitimate son he'd secretly kept for 2 years, Zishuan, half a year older than Yutong. Zishuan was now crying and clutching Mingyuan's pant leg. The shaking grew more intense, ceiling plaster began to fall from above, but what truly horrified me was the 2-meter-tall solid wood bookshelf in the corner of the living room. Its center of gravity shifted, and it was tipping fast, straight toward both children. That shelf was packed with heavy, hardcover books. If it hit them, the consequences would be unthinkable. My mind went blank, but my body reacted faster than thought. I sprinted toward Yutong. Just as I was about to reach her, a flicker in my peripheral vision caught Mingyuan's movement. He hadn't even glanced at his own daughter. Instead, he stretched out his arms, pulled Zishuan tightly into his chest, and instinctively stepped back 2 paces, completely out of the bookshelf's falling path. Mingyuan, look at Yutong, I screamed, my voice cracking with despair, but he acted as if he hadn't heard. He only looked down, comforting the boy in his arms, muttering, Zishuan, don't be scared, Daddy's here, Daddy will protect you, it's okay. The bookshelf fell faster, whistling through the air, about to crush Yutong where she stood frozen. I had no time to think. I threw myself forward with every ounce of strength, scooped Yutong into my arms, spun around, and used my own back as a shield. Between her and the shelf, crash, the shelf slammed into my back with a deafening impact. Pain exploded through my body, like every bone had shattered. Heavy books rained down on my back and head. My vision went dark. I nearly blacked out, but I held Yutong tight, refusing to loosen my grip even a fraction. Mommy, Mommy, Yutong sobbed in my arms, her tiny hands clutching my clothes. Yutong, don't be scared, Mommy's okay. Mommy will protect you. I gritted my teeth, forcing the words out through the agony, my voice hoarse and broken. The earthquake continued, though the shaking gradually lessened. Mingyuan stood nearby, still holding Zishuan. Only after the shelf had fallen did he slowly walk over. His eyes swept across me and Yutong, but there was no concern, only a glance down at the boy in his arms. Zishuan, how are you? Are you hurt? Were you scared? Zishuan shook his head, crying as he pressed closer to his father. Daddy, I'm scared. It's okay. It's okay. Daddy's here. Mingyuan patted Zishuan's back gently, his tone so tender, a warmth that Yutong and I had never known. I lay on the ground, the searing pain in my back making it impossible to get up. Yutong was still crying in my arms, watching Mingyuan's behavior. My heart felt like it was being stabbed by 1,000 needles, the ache so deep I could barely breathe. Mingyuan, I forced the words out with all my strength, my voice trembling with despair. Don't you see me and Yutong? My back hurts so much. Yutong is terrified. Come over and check on us. Mingyuan reluctantly lifted his eyes to look at us, his brow furrowed, and he spoke with irritation. What are you crying about? It's just a bookshelf falling on you. So what? You look fine to me. Yutong's fine too. Stop making a scene. Get up, clean this mess, and don't scare Zishuan. A scene? I stared at him in disbelief, tears flooding my eyes. Mingyuan, when the bookshelf was falling, why didn't you save Yutong? She's your own daughter. You'd rather protect that illegitimate child than care about your own flesh and blood. At the word illegitimate, Mingyuan's face darkened instantly. His eyes turned icy as he glared at me. Xiao Wanqing, stop your nonsense. Zishuan is my child too. What's wrong with protecting him? The situation was urgent. I didn't have time to take care of both. Yutong had you to protect her, didn't she, as her mother? Isn't it your job to protect your child? My job. I shook with rage. The pain in my back nearly eclipsed by the fury in my heart. So in your eyes, my life and Yutong's mean nothing. Protecting your illegitimate child is your sacred duty, but me risking my life for my daughter is just expected. Mingyuan, do you have any conscience at all? Mingyuan waved his hand impatiently. Enough, enough, stop making a fuss. Zishuan is young and easily scared. I'm taking him to rest in his room. You get up, take care of Yutong, and stop arguing. With that, he carried Zishuan into the bedroom without a single backward glance at me or Yutong. I lay on the floor, watching his resolute back, tears streaming down my face like broken pearls. The pain in my back grew sharper. Yutong cried harder in my arms, her little body trembling uncontrollably. In that moment, my heart died completely. The devoted CEO I thought I knew was nothing but a man with a twisted sense of favoritism. The happy marriage I believed in was nothing but an elaborate lie. 5 years of sacrifice. 5 years of endurance, and all I got was him abandoning his own daughter at the brink of life and death. I gritted my teeth, summoning every ounce of strength to slowly push myself up from the ground. The pain in my back made every movement agonizing, but I knew I couldn't fall. I still had Yutong to take care of. I carried Yutong, step by step, to the sofa and sat down. Gently, I patted her back, soothing her. Gradually, her crying subsided. She just held tightly to my neck, whimpering softly. Her eyes full of fear, I looked down at my poor daughter in my arms. The anger and hatred inside me grew stronger. He Mingyuan, Zhao Guifan, and that illegitimate child, He Zishuan, UOS, mother and daughter. Xiao Wanqing will not let this go so easily. I pulled out my phone, gritting my teeth against the searing pain in my back, and dialed my brother Xiaozi's number. The call connected quickly, and his anxious voice came through the line. Hello, Wanqing, are you okay? That earthquake just... Now, are you and Yutong all right? Hearing my brother's familiar voice, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Tears streamed down my face, and my voice choked as I sobbed. Brother, I'm fine. Yutong, she's terrified. What's going on? He could tell something was wrong, his tone growing more urgent. Wanqing, don't panic, take your time. Did that bastard He Mingyuan bully you? I took a deep breath, forcing down the storm inside me, and briefly recounted what had happened during the earthquake. On the other end, Xiaoziu exploded. What? That scumbag He Mingyuan, he actually abandoned his own daughter to protect his illegitimate son. Is he out of his mind? Wanqing, wait right there. I'm bringing people to pick you and Yutong up immediately. Don't waste words with him. Don't let him push you around. I've got your back. I'll make sure you and Yutong get justice. Brother, thank you. I choked out. What are you thanking me for? His voice was filled with pain. Take care of Yutong now. I'll be there in half an hour at most. Don't move, just wait for me. After hanging up, I held Yutong close, and a sliver of calm settled in my heart. With my family backing me, I was no longer that helpless, isolated woman. He Mingyuan, just you wait. Soon, you'll pay for what you did today. From the bedroom came the gentle sound of He Mingyuan comforting He Zishuan, a stark contrast to the cold emptiness of the living room. I cast a cold glance toward the bedroom door, my eyes void of any warmth. I didn't want this broken marriage anymore. I didn't want this heartless man anymore. From now on, I only wanted to live well with my Yutong, and live better than anyone else. I leaned back on the sofa, gently stroking Yutong's hair. She gradually fell asleep in my arms, but her brow was still furrowed. Clearly shaken by the scare, I bent down and kissed her forehead, silently vowing, Yutong, Mom will protect you from now on. I'll never let anyone hurt you again. Outside, the sky darkened, the earthquake had completely stopped, and sporadic cries and murmurs drifted through the neighborhood. I sat on the sofa, the pain in my back growing sharper, but I felt no fatigue, only a burning fire of vengeance in my heart. He Mingyuan, just you wait, your nightmare has only just begun. I held Yutong against the sofa, the agony in my back intensifying with every passing moment. Each breath felt like a knife stabbing into my bones. Cold sweat dripped down my temples, soaking my collar, but I dared not move, carefully adjusting my posture to keep Yutong sleeping peacefully in my arms. The bedroom door was tightly shut. From inside came He Mingyuan's gentle voice, punctuated by He Zishuan's whining cries. To me, those sounds were more jarring than the earthquake's roar, each word tearing at my already shattered heart. I looked down at my sleeping daughter. Her little face was still streaked with tears, her long lashes trembling faintly, as if caught in a nightmare. The memory of that bookshelf toppling, of He Mingyuan shielding his illegitimate son without a second thought while ignoring his own daughter, made me tremble with rage. Tears welled up again. 5 years. I had been married to He Mingyuan for 5 whole years. In that time, I gave up the comfort of my family's wealth, abandoned my career, stayed home to raise our child, and catered to his mother, Zhao Guifan, always putting the He family first. I thought that if I was virtuous and tolerant enough, I could earn a harmonious household, make He Mingyuan see my worth, see Yutong's worth, but I was wrong. terribly wrong, from the moment he secretly brought his illegitimate son, He Zishuan, into our home, from the moment Zhao Guifan showered He Zishuan with affection while sneering at Yutong, I should have realized, in this family, Yutong and I were never outsiders, we were excess. Knock, knock, knock. The sudden sound of knocking shattered the living room's silence, my heart stirred. I thought it might be my brother Xiaoziu, and I struggled to get up and answer the door, but the pain in my back sent me crashing back onto the sofa. The bedroom door swung open quickly. He Mingyuan emerged, holding He Zishuan, his face still soft with tenderness. When he saw me struggling, he didn't come to help. Instead, he frowned and snapped impatiently, "Who's that? What's all the noise? Can't you see Zishuan just fell asleep?" Then, with deliberate slowness, he walked to the door and opened it. Standing outside wasn't my brother, but a property management worker from the neighborhood, holding a flashlight, his face etched with urgency. The worker spoke, "Mr. He, hello, we're from the property management. There was an earthquake just now, so we're checking on everyone's safety. Is anyone injured? Do you need help?" He Mingyuan glanced at the worker, his tone flat. "We're fine, no help needed. Go check on other units, don't waste time here." The worker noticed me on the sofa with Yutong in my arms, and the scattered bookshelf and books on the floor. Concern flickered in his eyes. "Mr. He, this lady and child don't look well. Should we help take them to the hospital for a checkup?" At the mention of hospital, He Mingyuan's face darkened instantly, his voice turned icy. I said no, so no, they're perfectly fine, just scared. They'll be fine after some rest. Now leave, don't disturb Zishuan. The worker, embarrassed by He Mingyuan's attitude, tried to say something more but was silenced by a fierce glare. He shook his head helplessly and walked away. The door slammed shut, plunging the living room back into silence. I watched He Mingyuan turn to head back to the bedroom, and I couldn't hold back any longer. I called out, "He Mingyuan." He stopped, turned, and glared at me, his voice harsh. "What now, Xiao Wanqing? Can you stop making a scene? I told you, don't disturb Zishuan." "Did I make a scene?" I let out a cold laugh, my voice dripping with scorn. "He Mingyuan, is He Zishuan the only person in your eyes?" My back was smashed by a bookshelf. It hurt so much I can barely move. Yutong was scared out of her wits. "You didn't even ask about us, and now that the property management is offering to take us to the hospital, you still refuse. Are you even human?" He Mingyuan frowned, his face twisted with impatience. "What's the big deal? It's just a little bump on the back, isn't it? Can't you just tough it out? Yutong's just timid. She'll get over it once she's calmed down. There's no need to waste money on a hospital. Besides, Zishuan needs me to take care of him. I don't have time for you to waste money." I stared at him in disbelief, my heart clenching as if squeezed by an iron fist. "He Mingyuan, you buy brand-name clothes and high-end toys for He Zishuan without blinking an eye. Now that Yutong and I need a hospital checkup, you call it a waste of money. In your eyes, are our lives worth less than a piece of Zishuan's clothing? If you want to see it that way, there's nothing I can do about it." He Mingyuan waved his hand dismissively, his tone utterly dismissive. "Anyway, I'm not taking you to the hospital. If you're really in that much pain, call a cab yourself. Don't bother me." With that, he cradled He Zishuan in his arms and strode into the bedroom without a backward glance, even locking the door behind him as if fleeing from some monstrous plague. I slumped back against the sofa, staring at that closed bedroom door. The last shred of hope in my heart shattered completely. So this was it. In his eyes, Yutong and I meant nothing. He could abandon his own daughter's life without a second thought for a bastard child. He could ignore his injured wife and terrified daughter just to care for that illegitimate son. The pain in my back grew sharper, my vision starting to blur, but I couldn't collapse. I had to wait for my brother. I had to get Yutong out of this suffocating house. I pulled out my phone to call my brother, to ask where he was. But the moment my fingers touched the screen, a wave of dizziness hit me, nearly making me black out. I gritted my teeth, forcing myself to endure the discomfort, and dialed his number. The phone rang for a long time before it was picked up. My brother's anxious voice came through. "Wanqing, what's wrong? Did He Mingyuan bully you again? I'm almost at your neighborhood gate. I'll be up in a second." Hearing his voice, I couldn't hold back any longer, my voice choked with tears. "Brother, it hurts so much. Yutong, she keeps having nightmares. He Mingyuan, he won't take us to the hospital, that bastard." Xiaozi roared with fury on the other end. "Wanqing, hang on just a little longer. I'm almost there. Wait for me. Don't let anything happen." After hanging up, I clutched the phone tightly in my hand, as if it were my last lifeline. I looked down at Yutong in my arms, gently stroking her cheek, and whispered, "Yutong, don't be scared. Uncle is coming soon. We'll leave this place soon. We'll be saved." I don't know how long passed before frantic knocking finally came. At the door, along with my brother Xiaozi shouting, "Wanqing, Wanqing, are you in there? Open the door." A surge of relief washed over me. I struggled to get up and open the door, but the moment I moved, a searing pain in my back made me gasp sharply. Just then, the bedroom door creaked open, and Himing emerged in his pajamas, his face full of irritation. "Who is it? It's the middle of the night. So annoying," he grumbled as he shuffled to the door, taking his sweet time to open it. The moment the door swung open, Xiaozi stormed in with several bodyguards. When he saw me on the sofa, pale-faced and drenched in sweat, with Yutong sleeping in my arms, his eyes instantly turned red. Xiaozi rushed to my side in a few strides, crouched down, and examined me carefully, his voice filled with anguish. "Wanqing, how are you? Is your back still hurting? What about Yutong? Is she okay, brother?" I looked at him, tears streaming down my face like broken pearls. "I'm fine, but my back hurts so much, Yutong. She got scared and keeps having nightmares." Xiaozi glanced down at Yutong in my arms, then at the scattered bookshelf and books on the floor. The anger in his eyes grew more intense. He suddenly stood up, turned to glare at Himing, and said in an icy tone, "Himing, tell me, what the hell happened here? Did you cause this, Wanqing and Yutong like this? Was it your doing?" Himing flinched at Xiaozi's intimidating presence, taking a step back before forcing himself to appear calm. "Xiaozi, don't you dare spout nonsense. There was an earthquake just now, and the bookshelf fell. Wanqing chose to protect Yutong herself. What does that have to do with me? I was just taking care of Zishuan. Is that a crime, taking care of your bastard?" Xiaozi let out a cold laugh, his tone dripping with contempt. "Himing, do you have any conscience left? Wanqing is your wife, and Yutong is your own daughter. During the earthquake, when the bookshelf was about to fall on both children, you only cared about shielding that bastard. You watched Wanqing use her back to block the bookshelf and Yutong get terrified. Is this how you act as a husband and father?" Himing was left speechless, his face alternating between red and white, unable to utter a single word for a long moment. "What?" Xiaozi stepped forward, grabbing Himing by the collar and roaring, "Himing, do you have any idea that Wanqing's back might be seriously injured? Do you know what could have happened if the bookshelf had hit Yutong, and you're still here making sarcastic remarks, refusing to take them to the hospital? You heartless bastard, I'm going to teach you a lesson right now." As he spoke, Xiaozi raised his fist to strike Himing. The bodyguards quickly stepped in to hold him back, pleading, "Young master, don't be rash. The most important thing now is to get Miss and the little miss to the hospital." Xiaozi took a deep breath, forcing down his rage, and shot Himing a venomous glare. Through gritted teeth, he said, "Himing, you just wait. I'll settle this score with you sooner or later." With that, he turned around, carefully lifted Yutong from my arms, and said to the bodyguards, "Quick, carry my sister up. We're heading to the hospital immediately." A bodyguard quickly stepped forward, carefully lifting me from the sofa. The searing pain in my back forced a muffled groan from my lips, and tears streamed down my face. Once more, I fixed my gaze on Himing, my eyes devoid of any warmth, filled only with an icy hatred. "Himing, just you wait. The suffering Lingtong and I endured today, I will make you pay back tenfold." Xiaozi cradled Lingtong in his arms, while the bodyguard held me, and they hurried toward the door. Himing stood rooted to the spot, watching our retreating figures, his face shifting between pale and flushed. He wanted to step forward and stop us, but the other bodyguards brought by. Xiaozi blocked his path. "Himing, from today onward, you are not allowed to come within a single step of Wanqing or Lingtong." Xiaozi turned back, glaring at him, his tone ice-cold. "Otherwise, I won't be so polite with you." Our group quickly strode out of the He residence and boarded the ambulance waiting downstairs. The vehicle started moving immediately, heading toward the private hospital in the city center. Leaning against the stretcher in the ambulance, I watched the scenery blur past the window and silently vowed, I will never return to the He family again. Himing, between us, it's completely over. Back at the He residence at that moment, Himing stared at the empty living room, a sudden inexplicable irritation surging within him. He frowned, turned, and walked into the bedroom, where he saw Zishuan sleeping soundly in bed. The irritation gradually faded, in his eyes As long as He Zixuan was fine, nothing else mattered. He didn't even spare a thought for the injured wife and the frightened daughter, who were suffering at that very moment. Little did he know that his actions today would cost him a price far more devastating than he could ever imagine. The ambulance siren blared all the way, speeding toward the private hospital in the city center. I leaned on the stretcher, the sharp pain in my back keeping me tense throughout the journey, but seeing Ling Tong, held tightly by my brother by my side, brought a measure of comfort. Ling Tong was still asleep, though her little brows remained furrowed, and occasionally she would murmur softly, "Mommy," scared. Each whimper tore at my heart. "Doctor, how is my sister and my niece? She's been frightened. Please check on them quickly." As soon as the ambulance stopped, my brother Xiaozi rushed out frantically, shouting at the approaching doctor. The doctor hurried over, beginning a preliminary examination on me while soothing him. "Sir, please don't worry. We'll first take the patient into the emergency room for a detailed checkup, and we'll arrange for a specialist to look after the child as well." Soon, I was wheeled into the emergency room, while Ling Tong was taken to the pediatric ward for examination. As the anesthetic slowly took effect, the last image I saw before closing my eyes was Ming Yuan's cold-blooded face and the tender way he protected his illegitimate son. Hatred grew like vines in my heart, and I silently swore that once I recovered, I would make him pay. When I woke up again, it was already the afternoon of the next day. The hospital room was quiet, with sunlight streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows and spilling onto the sofa by the bed. I moved my fingers. The pain in my back was still there, but it had eased considerably compared to before. "You're awake, Wanqing, you're awake." My brother Xiaozi immediately leaned in, his face brimming with joy and concern. "How do you feel? Is your back still hurting?" "The doctor said you have a fractured thoracic vertebra and need plenty of rest. You mustn't move around." I looked at my brother, my voice hoarse. "Brother, where's Ling Tong? How is Ling Tong?" "Ling Tong is fine, just a little shaken up and some minor scrapes. The doctor said it's nothing serious. She's asleep in the next room now, and Mom is with her," Xiaozi quickly replied, reaching out to tuck my blanket in. "Don't worry, with us here, we won't let you and your daughter suffer any more injustice." Hearing that Ling Tong was okay, the heavy stone in my heart finally lifted, and tears uncontrollably spilled again. "Brother, thank goodness you were there. If you had been even a step later, I really don't know what I would have done." "Silly little sister, why say that to your brother?" Xiaozi sighed, his eyes blazing with fury. "That bastard He Ming Yuan, I've already had someone keep an eye on him. If he dares to come to the hospital and cause trouble, I'll make sure he regrets it. I've also told Mom and Dad. They're furious and said that once you're a bit better, they'll take you and Ling Tong back to the old house to live. You'll never return to that broken place of the He family again." I nodded, my mind clear. The He family's place. I truly never wanted to go back there. It was filled with betrayal and coldness, along with the unbearable pain Ling Tong and I had endured. Meanwhile, at the He residence, it was a completely different scene. He Ming Yuan slept soundly until noon the next day. When he opened his eyes, he saw He Zixuan lying by the bedside, staring at him, softly calling out "Daddy." He rubbed his eyes, reached out, and gently stroked He Zixuan's head, saying tenderly, "Zixuan, awake, are you hungry? Daddy will take you to get something delicious." He Zixuan nodded, snuggling into He Ming Yuan's arms, whining, "Daddy, I want cake." "All right, Daddy will buy it for you." He Ming Yuan agreed with a smile. He stood up, holding He Zixuan, and walked out of the bedroom. But he found the living room empty, the bookshelf and books still scattered on the floor, and Xiao Wanqing and He Yutong, mother and daughter, nowhere to be seen. He frowned, a strange irritation rising within him. Last night, Xiaozi had come with people to cause a scene and had taken Xiao Wanqing and He Yutong away. At the time, he had been too angry to think much about it. Now, with a calmer mind, he belatedly remembered that Xiao Wanqing had been injured in the back, and He Yutong had been frightened. But this concern lasted only a second before he dismissed it. In his view, with the Xiao family backing her, Xiao Wanqing would surely be fine, and He Yutong, protected by her mother, wouldn't encounter any trouble. As for He Zixuan, who had been frightened yesterday, he needed to be properly comforted. He held He Zixuan, leisurely ate lunch, then took him to the mall to buy a pile of toys and cake. It wasn't until late afternoon that they slowly returned home. Seeing the empty living room, the irritation welled up inside him again, as if something was Missing, Xiao Wanqing, He Yutong, he called out tentatively twice, but there was no response from the living room. He pulled out his phone, intending to call Xiao Wanqing, only to realize he had somehow blocked her number on his blacklist. He furrowed his brow, placing He Zixuan onto the sofa before turning to head to the study in search of Xiao Wanqing's contact information. Yet, as he rummaged through drawers and files, he found nothing. No way to reach Xiao Wanqing at all. It was only then that he realized how little he truly knew about this wife of his, this daughter of his. Damn it, He Mingyuan cursed under his breath, the agitation inside him growing fiercer by the second. He pulled out his phone and dialed his assistant's number, his voice icy cold. Find out immediately where Xiao Wanqing and He Yutong are right now. Also, get me Xiao Wanqing's phone number. The assistant quickly replied, Yes, Mr. He. I'll look into it right away and report back to you as soon as I have something. After hanging up, He Mingyuan sat on the sofa, staring at the scattered bookshelves and papers on the floor. Suddenly, the image of yesterday's earthquake flashed through his mind. In that moment when the bookshelf toppled, he had shielded He Zixuan without hesitation, while Xiao Wanqing had thrown herself toward He Yutong, using her back to block the falling shelf. That scene, replaying now, sent a chill through his heart. He shook his head, forcing himself to push those thoughts away. He told himself he had done nothing wrong. He Zixuan needed his protection more than He Yutong did, and as a mother, Xiao Wanqing was supposed to protect her daughter. But the more he rationalized it, the stronger the unease grew. Time passed, and eventually, the assistant called back, his tone hesitant. Mr. He, I found something. Miss Xia and Miss He were picked up by Mr. Xia yesterday and taken to a private hospital in the city center, but they were discharged this morning. As for where they went after that, I can't track it down. The Xia family has locked down all information tightly. I did get Miss Xiao's phone number, though, and I've sent it to you. Can't find them. He Mingyuan's face darkened instantly, his voice dripping with frost. Useless. Can't even track down two people's whereabouts. What do I pay you for? Keep searching immediately. Turn this entire city upside down if you have to, but find them. After hanging up, He Mingyuan stared at the phone number the assistant had sent. He hesitated for a long time before finally dialing. The phone rang for what felt like an eternity before it was answered, and Xiao Wanqing's cold voice came through. What do you want? Hearing her voice, the agitation and unease inside He Mingyuan suddenly vanished, replaced by a flicker of anger. His tone turned harsh. Xiao Wanqing, what exactly are you trying to do? Is hiding Yutong away amusing? Bring her back immediately. She's my daughter, He Mingyuan's daughter, and you have no right to keep her hidden. On the other end, Xiao Wanqing let out a cold laugh, her voice dripping with sarcasm. He Mingyuan, you still have the nerve to come looking for Yutong. During the earthquake, you watched as the bookshelf crushed her, only caring about protecting your illegitimate son. Back then, did you ever think she was your daughter? She was terrified, my back was injured, and you didn't even ask. You just focused on taking care of He Zixuan. Where was your concern for us then? Now that we want to live in peace, you come crawling back. Don't you find yourself ridiculous? He Mingyuan was left speechless, his face flushing red and then pale. He wanted to argue but couldn't find the words. Everything Xiao Wanqing said was true. He had indeed abandoned He Yutong at the critical moment, had indeed ignored his injured wife and terrified daughter. He fell silent for a long moment before softening his tone slightly. Yesterday was my fault. I shouldn't have neglected you and Yutong, but Zixuan was frightened too. I couldn't just ignore him. Yutong is still young. She needs her father. Bring her back, and I'll make it up to you both. I promise. Make it up. Xiao Wanqing's voice grew even colder. He Mingyuan, do you really think the harm you've done to us can be fixed with a simple apology? Let me tell you, it's impossible. From now on, Yutong and I will never return to the He family, and you'll never see her again. You and your illegitimate son, along with your biased mother, can go live your happy lives. Xiao Wanqing, don't push it. He Mingyuan trembled with rage, his voice turning icy. He Yutong is my daughter, and I have the right to see her and fight for custody. If you refuse to bring her back, don't blame me for playing rough. I'll take this to court and fight for custody through legal means. Legal means? Xiao Wanqing laughed coldly. Fine, I'm ready anytime. He Mingyuan, you'd better think carefully. If this goes to court, I'll expose how you abandoned your daughter to protect your illegitimate son during The earthquake, and I'll present all the evidence of you secretly raising a bastard child and treating us with cold indifference. Who do you think will win custody then, and what will happen to your reputation, to He Corporation's stock price? Think it over carefully. He Mingyuan's face turned deathly pale. How could he have forgotten? Xiao Wanqing had the Xiao family backing her, and she surely had plenty of evidence. If this went to court, not only would he lose custody, but he'd also be ruined, and He Corporation would suffer a massive blow. He took a deep breath, forcing down the fury inside him, and tried to speak gently. Wanqing, let's talk this out calmly. There's no need to go to court. It won't do anyone any good. I know I was wrong. From now on, I'll take good care of you and Yutong, and I won't favor Xishuan anymore. Just give me one more chance, okay? A chance. Xiao Wanqing's voice was filled with despair and mockery. He Mingyuan, I've given you countless chances, but you never valued them. From the moment you brought He Zishuan into this house, from the moment your mother sneered at Yutong, from the moment you abandoned her during the earthquake, there's been no chance left between us. Don't call me again. I don't want to hear your voice. With that, Xiao Wanqing hung up and immediately blocked He Mingyuan's number. He Mingyuan listened to the dead tone on the line, then hurled his phone to the floor in a fit of rage. The device shattered into pieces, just like the bond between him and Xiao Wanqing, irreparable. Dad, what's wrong? He Zishuan was startled into tears, running to He Mingyuan's side and clutching his clothes tightly. He Mingyuan stared at the crying He Zishuan in his arms, the fury in his chest once again suppressed. Now, he only had He Zishuan left. No matter what, he had to take good care of him. As for Xiao Wanqing and He Yutong, since they insisted on leaving, let them go. Yet deep inside, a strange sense of loss and unease gnawed at him, as if he had lost something most precious, something he couldn't quite name. What he didn't know was that Xiao Wanqing was currently lying in her bedroom at the Xiao family's old mansion, surrounded by the care of her parents and brother. Yutong was playing quietly nearby. The Xiao family had arranged everything. Not only had they hired the best doctors to help her and Yutong recover, but they had also prepared a top-tier legal team, ready at any moment to counter any custody battle He Mingyuan might launch. Wanqing, did He Mingyuan call you again? My mother walked in, holding a bowl of chicken soup, her face etched with worry. Don't pay him any mind. With us here, he won't hurt you and Yutong. I took the soup, nodding, a warmth spreading through my chest. Mom, I know. I won't let him bully us anymore. Yutong ran over, hugging my arm, her voice small. Mommy, I don't want to go back to Daddy's house. I want to stay with you, Grandpa, Grandma, and Uncle. I looked down at Yutong, gently stroking her hair. Okay, if Yutong doesn't want to go back, we won't. We'll live here from now on, with Grandpa, Grandma, and Uncle. Sound good? Yutong nodded vigorously, a smile blooming on her face, a smile I hadn't seen in so long. Watching my daughter's joy, the hatred in my heart still lingered, but it was now overshadowed by hope for the future. I knew that with my family's support and my daughter by my side, I could walk out of this shadow and start a new life. Meanwhile, He Mingyuan, after smashing his phone, sat slumped on the sofa, lost in thought. He couldn't understand how things had come to this. He only wanted to take good care of He Zishuan. Why couldn't Xiao Wanqing understand that? Why did she have to take He Yutong away from him? The more he thought about it, the more agitated he became, yet he was powerless. He didn't realize that his belated search was only the beginning of his nightmare. More troubles awaited him, more pain he would have to endure. His assistant called again, his voice more hesitant than before. President He, we still can't find any trace of Miss Xiao or Miss He. The Xiao family has tightened security, and our people can't get close. And rumors are spreading outside, saying that during the earthquake, you abandoned your wife and daughter to protect your illegitimate son, favoring him over them, being cold and heartless. Enough, He Mingyuan roared, cutting off his assistant. I don't want to hear this. Shut down those rumors immediately, and keep searching for Xiao Wanqing and He Yutong. No matter the cost, find them. After hanging up, He Mingyuan leaned back on the sofa, exhaustion etched into his face. For the first time, he felt utterly powerless as a CEO. He couldn't even keep his own wife and daughter, couldn't even suppress a few rumors. He didn't know that all of this was simply the karma he deserved. After 2 days at the Xiao family's old mansion, my back had improved significantly. I could at least sit up with effort. Yutong had also gradually shaken off the shadow of The earthquake, spending her days playing in the yard with Grandpa and Grandma, her smiles growing more frequent, watching my daughter's happiness lifted a heavy weight from my heart, but whenever I thought of Hee-Min-Yuan, the hatred surged back. That morning, the doctor came to the mansion for our scheduled checkup. After the examination, he advised, "Miss Xia, your thoracic spine fracture is healing well, but you still need plenty of bed rest. Avoid overexertion. Miss He's post-traumatic stress is also improving, but I recommend a full psychological evaluation at the hospital for peace of mind." My mother nodded eagerly. "Yes, doctor, we'll take Yutong to the hospital this afternoon." That afternoon, my brother Xiaozi drove, my mother holding Yutong, as we headed to the private hospital in the city center. To avoid Hee-Min-Yuan, we deliberately avoided the ward building where I had been hospitalized before, going straight to the pediatric psychological counseling unit. While Yutong was in her session, my brother, my mother, and I waited in the hallway, watching. "Don't worry, I've arranged for bodyguards to stand watch downstairs. Even if Hee-Min-Yuan finds us, he won't get in," Xiaozi said, patting my shoulder reassuringly. I nodded. "Brother, I know you've thought of everything, but I never expected Hee-Min-Yuan to find us anyway." About half an hour later, hurried footsteps echoed from the end of the hallway. I looked up to see Hee-Min-Yuan, dressed in a suit, his hair disheveled, his eyes frantic, charging toward us. Two assistants followed behind him, looking as if they had been searching for a long time. "Xiao Wanqing, where is he, Yutong?" Hee-Min-Yuan rushed up to me, his voice trembling with urgency, his eyes darting around the corridor. My brother immediately stepped forward, blocking me, glaring coldly at Hee-Min-Yuan. "Hee-Min-Yuan, how did you find this place? Who let you in? Get out." Hee-Min-Yuan shoved my brother aside, his eyes locked onto mine. "Xiaozi, don't get in my way. I want to see my daughter. Wanqing, bring Yutong out. I'm taking her home." "Home?" I let out a cold laugh, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Hee-Min-Yuan, you still have the nerve to talk about home. Do you think Yutong wants to go back with you? Do you think I'll let her return to a place that's caused her so much pain?" "Wanqing, I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong." His voice cracked with a sob, his eyes pleading. "I shouldn't have ignored you and Yutong during the earthquake. I shouldn't have favored Zishuan. I shouldn't have been so cold to you. Give me another chance, please. I promise. From now on, I'll take good care of you and Yutong. I won't let you suffer anymore." "Another chance." I stared at him, tears suddenly streaming down my face, not from hurt, but from fury. "Hee-Min-Yuan, when the bookshelf was about to fall on Yutong during the earthquake, and you only cared about shielding your illegitimate son, did you ever think of giving us a chance when Yutong and I were injured and helpless, and you didn't even bother to check on us, too busy taking care of Zishuan? Did you ever think of giving us a chance? Now you say you're sorry, and you expect me to give you a chance. Do you think that's possible?" The patients and their families around us, hearing our argument, all turned to look, pointing and whispering among themselves. Hee-Min-Yuan's face flushed red and then pale, caught between embarrassment and urgency as he said, "Wanqing, I know I was a bastard back then. I was panicked, and in that moment of confusion, I did what I did. Zishuan is still young. He can't lose me. I had no choice, no choice." I trembled with rage, my voice rising a few notches. "Hee-Min-Yuan, was Yutong any less young? She was only 4 years old, watching that bookshelf crash down on her. Do you know how terrified she was when I used my back to block that shelf? My bones nearly shattered. Do you know how much that hurt? And you say no choice, as if that wipes away all your faults. Do you think you've been fair to me, or to Yutong?" Hee-Min-Yuan was left speechless by my words, only able to stammer in defense. "That's not what I meant. I just care too much about Zishuan. Wanqing, Yutong is my daughter too. I care about her. Stop making a scene. Just bring Yutong out, and we'll go home together. Live a good life, okay? Live a good life." I let out a cold laugh. "Hee-Min-Yuan, do you really think we can live a good life after all this? Your heart is only with Zishuan, only with your biased mother, Yutong, and I have never mattered to you. If you want a good life, take your illegitimate son and your mother, go live your good life, and leave me and Yutong alone." "Xiao Wanqing, don't go too far." Hee-Min-Yuan's patience had run out, his tone turning icy and furious. "Yutong is my daughter, Hee-Min-Yuan's daughter. I have the right to see her and take her away. If you insist on refusing, don't blame me for being harsh. What do you think you're going to do?" My brother stepped forward, once again blocking me, glaring at He Minuan with icy eyes. He Minuan, I'm warning you, this is a hospital, not a place for you to cause trouble. If you dare make a scene here, I'll make sure you regret it. Just then, the door to the psychological counseling room opened. Yutong walked out holding the doctor's hand, but the moment she saw He Minuan, her face turned deathly pale. Frightened, she immediately hid behind my mother, clutching her leg tightly, and began to sob softly. Grandma, I'm scared. I don't want to see Daddy. Seeing Yutong's terrified expression, the anger in my heart flared even hotter. I stepped forward, pulled Yutong out from behind my mother, and held her tightly in my arms, gently soothing her. Yutong, don't be afraid. Mommy is here. Uncle and Grandma are here too. No one can hurt you. He Minuan, seeing Yutong cry, grew anxious as well. He tried to approach, but was blocked by my brother. He could only call out to Yutong over my brother's shoulder, his voice gentle. Yutong, Daddy is here. Daddy came to take you home. Don't be scared, okay? At the sound of He Minuan's voice, Yutong cried even harder, burying her face in my chest, refusing to come out. I don't want to go home. I don't want Daddy. I only want Mommy. He Minuan's face instantly turned ugly. His eyes filled with hurt and rage. He stared at me, his tone icy. Xiao Wanqing, did you deliberately teach Yutong to hate me? Did you intentionally keep her from recognizing me as her father? Teach her to hate you? I laughed bitterly. He Minuan, do I even need to teach her? Aren't the things you've done enough to make Yutong hate you? During the earthquake, you abandoned her to protect your illegitimate son. When she was traumatized, you ignored her. Now she's terrified at the sight of you. That's all you're doing. What does it have to do with me? You're lying. He Minuan roared. I didn't abandon her. I just didn't get to her in time, and I didn't ignore her. Before he could finish, his words were cut off by hurried footsteps. Zhao Guifan, my mother-in-law, came running up, panting heavily, with a nanny trailing behind her. As soon as she saw He Minuan, she grabbed his arm and said urgently, Minuan, are you okay? Are you hurt? I heard you came here, so I rushed over. Then Zhao Guifan's gaze fell on me and Yutong, her eyes instantly turning cold and sharp. She let go of He Minuan's arm, strode over to me, and pointed a finger in my face, cursing. Xiao Wanqing, you vicious woman, you actually hid Yutong away and wouldn't let Minuan see her. What are you plotting? Are you trying to destroy the He family? My mother immediately stepped forward, pushing Zhao Guifan's hand away, and snapped, Zhao Guifan, stop spewing nonsense here. It's your precious Minuan who wronged Wanqing and Yutong. He abandoned his daughter to protect his bastard during the earthquake. He ignored his injured wife and traumatized daughter, and now you have the nerve to blame Wanqing. Do you have any conscience? Me, spewing nonsense? Zhao Guifan sneered, her voice dripping with disdain. What, abandoned his daughter to protect his bastard? That was an emergency. Minuan had no choice but to protect Zixuan first. Zixuan is more pitiful than Yutong. He grew up without a mother. What's wrong with Minuan taking extra care of him? Xiao Wanqing, as a mother, it's your duty to protect Yutong. How dare you complain? Zixuan is pitiful. I held Yutong. Trembling with rage, Zhao Guifan, Yutong is your own granddaughter. Isn't she pitiful? She was abandoned by her own father at a life-or-death moment. She suffered such trauma, and instead of feeling for her, you're defending that illegitimate son. Do you even deserve to be called a grandmother? You've never treated Yutong as your real granddaughter. I never treated her as my real granddaughter. Zhao Guifan's face flushed red with fury. Xiao Wanqing, don't try to drive a wedge here. If your womb weren't so useless, only giving birth to a daughter like Yutong, Minuan wouldn't have gone looking for Zixuan. If you weren't always putting on airs as a rich young lady, bossing me and Minuan around, he wouldn't have grown so cold to you. This is all your fault, and you still have the nerve to blame others. My fault. I stared at Zhao Guifan, her blatant twisting of the truth only fueling the hatred burning hotter inside me. Zhao Guifan, you are utterly unreasonable. What's wrong with me having a daughter? Isn't she your own flesh and blood granddaughter? When have I ever put on airs like some rich heiress? I married He Minuan 5 years ago, and I've been nothing but obedient and respectful to you. What more do you want? You favor He Zixuan and mock Yutong at every turn. Have you forgotten all that? What's wrong with me favoring Zixuan? Zhao Guifan shot back, her voice dripping with self-righteousness. Zixuan is the root of the He family, our hope. Who else Should I favor if not him? Yutong is just a girl. She'll be married off sooner or later. There's no need to waste so much effort on her. You're talking complete nonsense. My brother roared in fury. Zhao Guifan, what era are we living in? You're still clinging to that outdated preference for sons over daughters. Yutong is a child of the He family too. Why doesn't she deserve proper care? You and He Mingyuan are cold-blooded and heartless. You're not fit to be elders, not fit to be parents. The crowd around us grew larger, all pointing fingers at Zhao Guifan and He Mingyuan, murmuring among themselves, so this is the man who abandoned his daughter to save his mistress during the earthquake, absolutely heartless, and this old woman, so biased against girls, not even cherishing her own granddaughter, disgraceful, that woman and her child are so pitiful, ending up with a husband and mother-in-law like this. They must have the worst luck in the world. Hearing the whispers, He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan's faces turned an ugly shade of anger. He Mingyuan tried to defend himself, but the weight of the crowd stares choked his words. Zhao Guifan wanted to lash out, but my mother's piercing glare kept her silent. I held Yutong in my arms, staring coldly at the mother and son. My voice was steady, unyielding. He Mingyuan, Zhao Guifan, I'm warning you one last time, don't come near me or Yutong again. I will never hand over custody of Yutong to you, and you will never drag her back to the He family. From this moment on, Yutong and I are done with you and the He family, cut off completely, no ties left. Without another glance, I turned to my brother and mother. Brother, Mom, let's go. Xiaozi nodded, steadying me as my mother carried Yutong. Together, we walked toward the elevator. He Mingyuan tried to step forward and stop us, but the crowd blocked him. He could only stand there, watching our retreating figures, his eyes burning with fury and frustration. Helpless to act, Zhao Guifan trembled with rage, shouting after us, Xiao Wanqing, you vicious woman, just you wait, I won't let you off easy, you won't keep our He family granddaughter all to yourself. I didn't look back, my mind was fixed on one thought, this farce needed to end, but I knew He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan wouldn't give up so easily, they'd come after us again. Still, I wasn't afraid. I had my family backing me, the best legal team money could buy, and a precious daughter who needed my protection. No matter what tricks they pulled, I wouldn't let them hurt Yutong. I would make them pay for everything they'd done. The elevator descended slowly. I looked down at Yutong in my arms. She had stopped crying, but she clung tightly to my neck, whispering, Mommy, can we never see Daddy and Grandma again? I gently stroked her hair, my voice firm and soft. Yes, we'll never see them again. Mommy will always be with you, protecting you. Yutong nodded firmly, burying her face in my chest, a relieved smile spreading across her lips. Watching her smile, I made a silent vow. I would give Yutong a happy life. I would make everyone who hurt us regret it for the rest of their days. Back in the hospital corridor, He Mingyuan stared at the empty hallway, his anger and resentment boiling over. Zhao Guifan grabbed his arm, her voice urgent. Mingyuan, don't get upset. We can't just let this go. Yutong is our He family granddaughter. We have to take her back. That woman Xiao Wanqing isn't fit to raise her. He Mingyuan took a deep breath, his eyes turning cold and resolute. Mom, don't worry, I'll get Yutong back. Xiao Wanqing wants to fight me. Fine, I'll see it through to the end, even if it means going through the courts. I'll win custody. Let's see what she can do against me. Zhao Guifan nodded approvingly. That's more like it. Mingyuan, I'm behind you all the way. Whatever it takes, we'll bring Yutong home. He Mingyuan stared out the window, his mind already scheming. Little did he know, this decision would drag him deeper into quicksand, costing him far more than he imagined, and he never suspected that Xiao Wanqing had already prepared everything, waiting for him to walk right into her trap. The battle for custody was about to begin. After returning from the hospital, I stayed at the Xiao family mansion to recover, with my parents and brother by her side. Yutong grew stronger by the day. She no longer feared being alone. She even started learning to paint and reciting nursery rhymes with the family tutor. Every day, the house echoed with her bright laughter. Seeing my daughter slowly emerge from the shadows lifted a heavy weight off my heart, but I knew He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan wouldn't just walk away. Sure enough, 3 days later, the doorbell rang. The butler rushed in to report, Mister, he has sent someone. They handed over a document. It's a court summons. My brother Xiaozi's temper flared on the spot. That bastard He Mingyuan, how dare he sue us? Let's see what face he has left. He snatched the summons from the butler, scanning it quickly, his expression darkening with every word. "This scumbag. He's suing you for custody of Yutong." My mother slammed her teacup down on the table with a clatter, shaking with rage. "Is he Mingyuan out of his mind? What right does he have to fight for custody? He abandoned his daughter during the earthquake, never cared for her before. Does he even deserve to be called a father?" I took the summons, my fingertips icy cold, but my heart was eerily calm. I had long expected Mingyuan to pull this move, so I hadn't been idle these past few days. I had already asked my brother to contact the top divorce lawyer team in the country, and all the evidence was neatly organized. "Mom, brother, don't be angry." I gently patted their hands, my tone firm and unwavering. "If he wants to sue, we'll see it through to the end. I want everyone to see what kind of cold-hearted father Mingyuan really is, and how he and Zhao Guifan favored the illegitimate son while mistreating their own granddaughter." Just then, the head of the lawyer team, Attorney Zhou, hurried over, clutching a stack of documents. As soon as he entered, he said, "Miss Xia, Mr. Xia, Mrs. Xia, we've received word that Mingyuan has filed a lawsuit with the court, claiming you're unfit to care for Miss He, and that you're deliberately preventing him from seeing his daughter, violating his visitation rights." Xia Zi let out a cold laugh. "He still has the nerve to talk about visitation rights. Yutong is terrified of him. She cries at the mere sight of him. She doesn't want to see him at all. How can you blame us? And he says Wanqing can't take care of Yutong. What right does Mingyuan have to say that? Wanqing is the eldest daughter of the Xia family. Whether it's financial stability or the dedication she shows in caring for the child, how does he even compare?" Attorney Zhou nodded. "Mr. Xia is right. Mingyuan's lawsuit is mostly filled with false statements, with no substantial evidence. We've already compiled all the evidence needed to refute his claims, and we can even countersue him for adultery during marriage, domestic abuse, and failure to fulfill his fatherly duties, forcing him to leave with nothing." I glanced at the evidence list Attorney Zhou handed me, feeling even more confident. The list included a copy of the surveillance footage from the neighborhood during the earthquake, clearly showing Mingyuan abandoning his daughter to protect his illegitimate son, watching helplessly as I used my back to block the bookshelf. It also included bank records of Mingyuan secretly buying property and transferring assets to his illegitimate son, He Zishuan, as well as recordings and witness statements of Zhao Guifan's constant cold remarks and mistreatment of Yutong. There was even a copy of He Zishuan's birth certificate, where the biological father's information didn't match Mingyuan at all. All this evidence had taken my brother immense effort to gather over the past few days. The birth certificate, in particular, was an unexpected bonus. Mingyuan had tried to hide it when he first brought He Zishuan into the house, fearing I would discover the truth, but my brother still managed to find a lead and obtain a copy of the original. Attorney Zhou, is this evidence enough? I asked softly. Attorney Zhou nodded firmly. Miss Xia, rest assured, this evidence is more than sufficient, especially the surveillance footage from the earthquake and He Zishuan's birth certificate. Both are fatal blows. Once we present this in court, Mingyuan won't just lose the custody battle, he'll be ruined, and he might even face jail time. Transferring marital assets during the marriage is already illegal. Just as we were discussing our strategy, Mingyuan showed up in person. He didn't enter the living room, just stood in the courtyard, shouting toward the house, "Xiao Wanqing, come out, I know you're home, don't hide from me." Xia Zi was so furious he rolled up his sleeves, ready to charge outside. I quickly stopped him. "Brother, don't act rashly, let him make his scene here, let the neighbors see his true colors." Seeing no one respond, Mingyuan grew more aggressive, his voice rising louder. "Xiao Wanqing, you vicious woman, you're hiding Yutong from me, and you're forging evidence to slander me. Do you think you'll get away with this? I'm telling you, Yutong is my daughter, and I will win custody. If you know what's good for you, hand her over now, or I'll make life miserable for you and the Xia family." The neighbors around the Xia family's old mansion were all prominent figures. Mingyuan's outburst quickly drew a crowd, who gathered around the courtyard, pointing and whispering, "Isn't that Mingyuan, the CEO of the He Group? What's he doing causing trouble here? I heard that during the earthquake, he abandoned his daughter to protect his illegitimate son. Now he Wants custody of his biological daughter. That's absolutely ridiculous. Miss Xia is such a good person. How did she end up marrying such a cold-hearted monster? Hearing the murmurs around him, He Mingyuan's face flushed red and then pale, but he stubbornly continued shouting, Xia Wanqing, get out here. Don't hide inside like a coward. I gripped the armrest of the sofa and slowly stood up, staring coldly at He Mingyuan through the window. He Mingyuan, haven't you made enough of a scene? If you want to fight for custody of Yutong, I'm ready, but if you keep spouting nonsense and slandering me and the Xia family, I won't be so polite. When He Mingyuan saw me, his eyes instantly turned red, and his tone became urgent. Wanqing, I know you still hate me. I know I was wrong. Give me another chance, okay? I promise. From now on, I'll take good care of you and Yutong. I won't favor Xishuan anymore. Let's be a family again. The three of us, please, a family of three. I let out a cold laugh. He Mingyuan, do you really think that's possible? Your heart only has room for He Xishuan and your biased mother. Yutong and I were never your family, and you say you were wrong, but do you even know what you did wrong? You still think it's just about favoring Xishuan, not about abandoning us, don't you? He Mingyuan's eyes darted away, unable to meet my gaze. He stammered, I was confused at the time. I didn't mean to give up on Yutong. Confused, I raised my voice, loud enough for everyone around to hear clearly. He Mingyuan, when the earthquake hit and the bookshelf was falling toward the two children, you had plenty of time to choose to save Yutong, but you didn't hesitate to protect your illegitimate son, He Xishuan, and watched as I used my back to block the bookshelf, watching Yutong scared out of her wits. Do you know how much my back hurt from the bone fracture? Do you know how many times Yutong has woken up screaming from nightmares? And you think a simple I was confused can erase all the pain you caused? My brother seized the opportunity. Pulling out his phone and opening the surveillance footage from the earthquake, he addressed the crowd around him, his voice cutting through the murmurs. Everyone, take a look. This is what He Mingyuan calls a moment of carelessness. In his eyes, there's no room for his own daughter, only that illegitimate son. The people gathered around, huddling closer to peer at the phone screen as the video played, their faces twisted with fury, teeth grinding in outrage. Oh my God, it's really true. He just stood there, watching his own daughter get crushed by that bookshelf, only caring about shielding someone else's child. Such cold-bloodedness. A man like that doesn't deserve to be called a father. Miss Xia is so pitiful. She broke her bones protecting her daughter. He Mingyuan's gaze swept over the angry stares closing in on him, then fell back to the video playing on the phone. His face drained of color, turning a sickly pale. His entire body trembled, and he couldn't force out a single word. He lunged forward, desperate to snatch the phone, but Xiaozi's bodyguards blocked him, arms crossed and unyielding. He Mingyuan, stop making a fool of yourself here. Xiaozi's voice was ice cold. If you know what's good for you, drop the lawsuit right now and never bother Wanqing and Yutong again. Otherwise, when we step into that courtroom, we won't just crush you. We'll destroy you and the He Corporation, leaving your name in ruins. Just then, Zhao Guifan rushed over, breathless, the moment she saw He Mingyuan trapped in the center, his face ghostly white. She charged forward, screaming at the crowd, What are you all doing here? Gawking, stop spouting nonsense. My son isn't what you say. It's that vicious woman, Xia Wanqing, who's faking evidence to slander him. My mother stepped forward, her voice sharp as a blade. Zhao Guifan, don't you dare twist the truth here. The surveillance footage is crystal clear. Your son abandoned his daughter to protect a bastard. That's an undeniable fact, and you still want to argue. And as for you, favoring that illegitimate child while mistreating your own granddaughter, we have recordings of your cold, biting words to Yutong. Care to hear them? With that, my mother pulled out her phone and played an audio clip. Through the speakers, Zhao Guifan's harsh voice rang out, cutting and cruel. He Yutong, you worthless waste. If it weren't for you, Mingyuan wouldn't have had to go looking for Xishuan. Look at you, stupid and timid, not even half as sensible as Xishuan. How did the He family end up raising a useless thing like you? As the recording finished, the crowd's fury erupted even fiercer. That old woman is absolutely vicious. How dare she curse her own granddaughter like that? No wonder the child's terrified of them. With a father and grandmother like that, it's heartbreaking. He Mingyuan, if you've got any conscience left, drop the custody battle and stop hurting that child. Zhao Guifen's face cycled through shades of pale and red. She tried to fight back, but the torrent of angry shouts drowned her out. He Mingyuan stared at the scene unfolding around him, panic flooding his chest. He realized, with a sinking dread, that he hadn't gained anything today. He'd only made everything worse. I watched the mother and son, their faces twisted in humiliation and defeat, and felt no pity, only a cold, searing hatred. My voice was flat, cutting through the noise. He Mingyuan, Zhao Guifen, this is my final warning. Withdraw the custody lawsuit immediately, and never show your faces in front of me or Yutong again. Otherwise, when we get to court, I'll submit every piece of evidence I have. You'll lose custody, your reputations will be shattered, and the He Corporation will crumble along with you. He Mingyuan looked into my unwavering eyes. Then at the blazing anger surrounding him, something inside him finally snapped. He spun on Zhao Guifen, roaring, "Mom, this is all your fault. You insisted on fighting for custody. You insisted on favoring Zishuan. Look what you've done. You've ruined everything." Zhao Guifen's panic flared. She burst into tears, pleading, "I did it for you, for the He family. Zishuan is the He family's root. Yutong is just a worthless girl. How could we let her go with that woman? Xiao Wanqing, root." I let out a cold laugh, pulling out a copy of He Zishuan's birth certificate and holding it high for the crowd to see. Take a good look, everyone. This is the so-called He family root that He Mingyuan's been killing himself to protect. He Zishuan isn't even He Mingyuan's biological son. He's a bastard Zhao Guifen secretly brought in, all for her precious continuation of the bloodline. The words hit like a thunderbolt, shattering the air around He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifen. He Mingyuan's eyes bulged, disbelief flooding his face. "You, what did you say? Zishuan isn't my biological son. That's impossible. Don't you dare slander him." Zhao Guifen's face turned ashen, her legs gave way, and she nearly collapsed, muttering over and over, "No, no, that's not true. Zishuan is your son, whether it's true or not. A DNA test will settle it," I said, my voice cold as steel. "He Mingyuan, if you don't believe me, take He Zishuan for a paternity test yourself. I can tell you this. That birth certificate is a certified copy I got from the hospital. The father's information is clearly someone else's name, with no connection to you at all." The crowd erupted, voices rising in a chaotic buzz. "Oh my God, this is insane. The old woman brought in a bastard just to continue the family line. He Mingyuan's got it worse than anyone. He threw away his own daughter to protect a kid who isn't even his. Serves them both right. They were so twisted in their favoritism, and now they've been played for fools." He Mingyuan stared at Zhao Guifen's panicked, darting eyes, and the truth slowly dawned on him. He walked toward her, step by step, his gaze freezing over. "Mom, is what she said true? Is Zishuan really not my son? Tell me." Zhao Guifen's whole body shook under the weight of his stare. She couldn't hold it in any longer and broke down, sobbing, "Mingyuan, I had no choice. You and Wanqing were married for 5 years, and all you had was Yutong, a daughter. I was desperate. I was afraid the He family would die out, so I found someone to bring Zishuan in. I was going to tell you later." "Slowly, you fool," He Mingyuan roared, shoving her hard. "Do you have any idea what you've done? I gave up my own daughter for that bastard. I angered the Xia family, and now I'm ruined. Are you happy? Is this what you wanted?" Zhao Guifen crashed to the ground, sobbing and pleading, "Mingyuan, I know I was wrong. I did it for the He family. Please, forgive me." "Okay." He Mingyuan stared at Zhao Guifen sprawled on the ground, then at the mocking gazes of the crowd around him. Anger and desperation churned in his chest, nearly forcing a mouthful of blood to spray from his lips. He knew, with crushing certainty, that this was the end, the custody battle for his son. He couldn't win it now. The reputation of the He group was utterly shattered, and the child he had fought so desperately to protect was, after all, a bastard. I watched the mother and son hurl accusations at each other, their pitiful, disheveled forms a spectacle of collapse. No shred of pity stirred within me. This was the price they paid for their own bias, their cold-bloodedness, their stupidity. They had brought it all upon themselves. "He Mingyuan," I said, my voice firm and unwavering, "do you still have the nerve to fight for Yutong's custody now? I'll give you 1 day. Withdraw the lawsuit immediately, otherwise, I'll submit every piece of evidence to the court and make sure you, Zhao Guifen, and that bastard son of yours are utterly disgraced." He Mingyuan looked at me, his eyes filled with despair and reluctance, yet utterly helpless. He knew he had no chance. Grinding his teeth, he nodded, Fine, I'll withdraw the lawsuit. I'll never bother you or Yutong again. With that, he didn't spare another glance at Zhao Guifan, still crumpled on the ground. He turned and fled, his figure stumbling and pathetic. Zhao Guifan stared after him, then at the mocking faces around her, and finally broke down into a wailing sob. My brother gave a subtle nod to the bodyguards. They stepped forward without a word and hoisted Zhao Guifan out of the courtyard. The onlookers, sensing the drama was over, slowly dispersed. Silence settled over the yard at last. My mother came over and wrapped her arms tightly around me, her voice thick with pain. Wanqing, you've suffered so much. I leaned into her embrace, and the tears I had been holding back finally spilled over. This time, it wasn't anger or despair, it was release. I lifted my head to look at her, a smile breaking through my tears. Mom, I'm not suffering anymore. From now on, Yutong and I can finally live in peace. Yutong ran out from the house and hugged my legs tightly, her small voice trembling. Mommy, is Daddy and Grandma never coming back? I knelt down and gently stroked her hair, my voice steady and reassuring. Yes, Yutong, they're never coming back. Mommy will always be with you, protect you, and make sure you grow up happy. She nodded firmly, then wrapped her arms around my neck and planted a kiss on my cheek. Looking at her innocent smile, I made a silent vow. From this day forward, I would take the best care of Yutong and make her the happiest child in the world. As for He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan, their retribution had only just begun. After they were driven away, the Xiao family's old mansion settled into a deep, genuine peace. Yutong finally let down her guard. Every day, she studied with her tutor, reading and drawing, and in the evenings, she would drag her grandfather to the yard to fly kites. Her clear laughter filled the entire courtyard. I leaned against the window, watching my daughter's joyful figure, and warmth spread through my heart. Even the ache in my back seemed to ease. I thought He Mingyuan would keep his word, withdraw the lawsuit and leave us alone, but I never expected him to play dirty behind the scenes. That very night, my brother Xiaozi rushed home from the office. The moment he stepped through the door, he slammed his phone onto the coffee table, his face dark as a storm cloud. That He Mingyuan, he's utterly despicable, Xiaozi roared. He didn't withdraw the lawsuit at all. He secretly contacted the media and spread rumors everywhere, saying Wanqing cheated during the marriage, that she falsely accused him of abandoning his daughter for a bastard just to seize the Xiao family's assets, and even that Yutong isn't his biological daughter. My mother's sewing box clattered to the floor. She trembled with rage. That cursed man. After all the wrong he's done, he dares to turn the tables on us. Wanqing, don't you worry. I'll find someone to tear his mouth apart. I picked up the phone and quickly scrolled through the news articles. Sure enough, several financial and entertainment outlets had published negative stories about me. The headlines were glaring. Xiao family heiress caught cheating, frames husband to seize fortune, He group president betrayed, daughter's paternity a mystery. The comment sections were a mess. Strangers who didn't know the truth hurled insults at me. Seeing these twisted, fabricated words, rage surged through me. The wounds on my back throbbed with pain, but I didn't panic, because I knew I wasn't fighting alone. Behind me stood the entire Xiao family. Brother, Mom, don't be angry, I said, taking a deep breath, my voice steady. If He Mingyuan wants to play this game, we'll play it to the end. He likes spreading rumors. Then we'll release all the evidence to the public and destroy him and the He group once and for all. Just then, my father walked out of his study, a file in his hand, his face grim. My father rarely lost his temper, but today, his eyes burned with fury. Mingyuan, he's grown more foolish with age, my father said, his voice low and powerful. My daughter, Xiao Zhenhai's daughter, is not someone he can slander like this. Ziyu, get to work immediately. First, contact every media outlet that published those negative stories. Demand they delete the articles and issue a public apology. If they refuse, we'll sue them for defamation. Second, compile all the evidence and release it through the Xiao Group's official channels and authoritative media outlets. Let everyone see He Mingyuan's true face. Third, notify the legal department to file a countersuit against He Mingyuan immediately, charge him with adultery, transferring marital assets, and slander. Not only will we strip him of everything, but he will also face legal consequences. Xiaozi nodded at once. Got it, Dad. I'll handle it right away. I'll also have my people look into the He Group's business partners. Anyone still working with He Mingyuan will get a warning from the Xiao family. Let them think carefully about the consequences of collaborating with a cold-blooded, lying scumbag. Well done, my father said, nodding. He walked over to me and gently patted my shoulder, his voice softening. Wanqing, don't be afraid. Your mother and I are here. The Xiao family is here. No one can bully you or Yutong. He Mingyuan owes you both, and we'll make sure he pays back every bit, with interest. I leaned into my father's embrace, and tears streamed down my face again. Growing up, my parents and brother had always treated me like a princess. When I married He Mingyuan, I thought I had found another pillar to lean on, but in the end, I was left bruised and broken. Thankfully, I still had my family, my unshakable foundation. I still had the people who loved me most. Xiaoziu moved with exceptional efficiency. In just 1 hour, he had arranged everything. First, all the media outlets that had published negative news articles sequentially deleted their reports and issued public apology statements, admitting they had published false information without verification, apologizing to me and the Xiao family. Right after that, the official account of the Xiao group released a series of evidence, including surveillance footage from the time of the earthquake, bank transaction records showing He Mingyuan's asset transfers, audio recordings of Zhao Guifan mistreating Yutong, a copy of He Zixuan's birth certificate, and chat logs of He Mingyuan secretly contacting the media to spread rumors. The moment this evidence was released, it immediately caused a massive uproar online, skyrocketing to the top of trending lists across all major platforms. The netizens' attitudes did a complete 180-degree turn, shifting from their previous insults to sympathy for me and fury toward He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan. Oh my god, so that's how it really is. He Mingyuan is just too cold-blooded, isn't he? He actually abandoned his daughter to protect his illegitimate son. My heart goes out to Miss Xia and her child, marrying such a scumbag. What a stroke of bad luck. That old lady Zhao Guifan is absolutely vicious. It's one thing to favor boys over girls, but to bring back a bastard child to trick her own son, this totally shatters my worldview. He Mingyuan isn't just cold-blooded, he's despicable and shameless. After doing such a shady thing, he still dares to spread rumors to slander Miss Xia. So disgusting. Support Miss Xia in seeking justice. That scumbag must leave the marriage with nothing and pay the price he deserves. At the same time, the deterrent power of the Xiao family became evident. Multiple partners of the He group called one after another, demanding to terminate their cooperation and hold He Mingyuan liable for breach of contract. The He group's stock price plummeted in response, dropping by over 30 percentage points in just a few hours. With market value evaporating by tens of billions, He Mingyuan was overwhelmed, having to deal with the company's crisis on one hand, the online public opinion on the other, and also handle the matters involving Zhao Guifan and He Zixuan. Ever since being exposed, Zhao Guifan had been crying at home non-stop, and He Zixuan had become withdrawn and silent due to the gossip from those around him. Watching all this, He Mingyuan felt both angry and anxious, yet completely powerless. The next morning, He Mingyuan actually showed up at the Xiao family's old mansion again. This time, unlike his previous loud and aggressive visit, he stood in the courtyard with his head lowered, looking utterly disheveled and noticeably haggard. Wanqing, I was wrong, I was truly wrong. He Mingyuan's voice was hoarse, trembling with tears. I shouldn't have spread rumors to slander you, shouldn't have refused to drop the lawsuit, shouldn't have let you and Yutong down. Please, just give me another chance, okay? I'm willing to compensate you for all your losses, willing to leave the marriage with nothing, as long as you let me see Yutong one more time, as long as you let me make up for my mistakes. My brother Xiaoziu immediately rushed out and roared at He Mingyuan. He Mingyuan, how dare you show your face here? Haven't you hurt Wanqing and Yutong enough? Now that your company is on the verge of collapse, you suddenly remember to apologize and think of Yutong. Where were you when it mattered? He Mingyuan lifted his head, his eyes bloodshot as he looked at my brother. Ziu, I know I'm a bastard, I know I'm not human, but I truly regret it. Now I finally realize that Yutong is my most precious treasure, and Wanqing is the one I should have cherished most. Just let me see them one more time. Please, you don't deserve it. I pushed open the door and walked out slowly, staring coldly at He Mingyuan. He Mingyuan, what use is it for you to say you regret it now? Back when you abandoned me and Yutong without a second thought, where was your regret? When you spread rumors to slander me, where was your regret? Now that your company is collapsing and you're at your wit's end, you suddenly remember us, mother and daughter. Do you really think we'll believe you, Wanqing? I know I've done so many things to wrong you in the past. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. He Mingyuan fell to his knees with a thud, tears streaming down his face. But I miss Yutong so much, I really want to make it up to her. Just let me see her one time, even if it's just once, I'll die. Content. Just then, Yutong walked out of the house holding my mother's hand. Seeing He Mingyuan kneeling on the ground, she was so frightened that she immediately hid behind my mother, clutching her leg tightly and whispering, "Grandma, I'm scared." Seeing Yutong's terrified expression, the fury inside me burned even hotter. I quickly walked over to Yutong, scooped her into my arms, and gently comforted her. "Yutong, don't be afraid. Mommy is here." Then I turned my head and stared coldly at He Mingyuan, do you see that? Yutong is scared just looking at you now. Do you think there's any point in you seeing her? You better leave quickly. Stop scaring her like this. He Mingyuan watched Yutong's frightened reaction, his heart filled with guilt and self-reproach. He slowly stood up, his eyes full of despair. "Wanqing, I know I was wrong. I won't come to disturb you anymore. I wish you and Yutong happiness from now on." With that, he turned and walked out slowly, his back looking especially pathetic, just as he was about to leave the courtyard. My father's voice suddenly rang out. "He Mingyuan, hold on." He Mingyuan stopped in his tracks and turned to look at my father, confusion written all over his face. My father walked up to him, his eyes icy cold. "He Mingyuan, I'm warning you, from now on, you are not to approach Wanqing and Yutong for any reason, and you are not to spread rumors to slander them, mother and daughter, otherwise I will not only make you and the He group completely disappear, but I will also hold you fully legally accountable. Also, the divorce agreement will be sent to you soon. You better be smart, sign it, and leave the marriage with nothing." He Mingyuan's face turned deathly pale, his lips trembling, unable to utter a single word for a long time. Finally, he could only nod, then turn and ran out in disgrace. Watching He Mingyuan's retreating figure, I felt no sympathy whatsoever, only relief. This man was finally going to disappear from our lives, mother and daughter, for good. Wanqing, don't overthink it. My mother came over and gently patted my shoulder. "From now on, with us here, no one can bully you and Yutong anymore." I nodded, holding Yutong in my arms, a warmth spreading through my heart. With my parents and brother protecting us, Yutong and I would surely live a happy and joyful life. That afternoon, the legal department of the Xiao Group sent the divorce agreement to He Mingyuan. The document explicitly stated that He Mingyuan, having committed adultery during the marriage, transferred joint marital property, and failed to fulfill his duties as a father, voluntarily relinquished all claims to joint property and custody of He Yutong, and agreed to pay monthly child support until Yutong reached the age of 18. He Mingyuan looked at the divorce agreement without a moment's hesitation, immediately signing and pressing his fingerprint. He knew that he had no right to bargain now. Merely surviving with his life was already an act of mercy from the Xia family. After obtaining He Mingyuan's signed divorce agreement, a heavy stone finally lifted from my heart. The marriage between me and He Mingyuan was finally, completely over. From now on, I was no longer Mrs. He, I was just Xiao Wanqing, the mother of He Yutong, my brother, Xiaozu. To celebrate my regained freedom, specially set up a table at a hotel and invited family and friends. At the banquet, relatives and friends came to congratulate me one after another, offering comfort and encouragement. Yutong was also happy at the event, playing with other children while holding a small cake, a joyful smile spreading across her face. Looking at everything before me, my heart was filled with gratitude, grateful for my parents and brothers' unwavering protection and support, grateful for the care and encouragement from relatives and friends, and even more grateful for my own courage back then to choose to leave that man who had hurt me. Just as the banquet was halfway through, my assistant suddenly called my brother, reporting that the He Group had completely collapsed. Multiple partners terminated their cooperation, banks were demanding repayment, shareholders withdrew their investments, and He Mingyuan had declared bankruptcy. Zhao Guifan, unable to bear the shock, suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage and was hospitalized, while He Zixuan was sent back to his biological parents. Hearing this news, there was not a ripple in my heart. They had brought this upon themselves. It was the price they paid for their favoritism, cold-heartedness, and stupidity. My brother hung up the phone, smiling as he announced to everyone, "Let me tell you all some good news. He Mingyuan is bankrupt, Zhao Guifan is in the hospital, and that bastard child has been sent away. From now on, no one will ever disturb Wanqing and Yutong's life again." Everyone clapped and cheered, and the atmosphere at the banquet grew even more lively. Yutong ran over to me, wrapped her arms around my neck, and whispered, Mommy, we don't have to be afraid of Daddy and Grandma anymore, right? I gently stroked her head and said firmly, that's right, Yutong. From now on, we never have to be afraid again. We will live happily and peacefully forever. Yutong nodded vigorously and planted a kiss on my cheek. Looking at my daughter's innocent smile, I silently vowed, from this day forward, I will take good care of Yutong and make her the happiest child in the world. I will also pick myself up, take over part of the Xia family's business, live up to my parents' and brothers' expectations, and live my own brilliant life. As the night grew deeper, the banquet gradually came to an end. I carried the sleeping Yutong in my arms and went home with my parents and brother. Sitting in the car, gazing at the countless lights outside the window, my heart was filled with hope for the future. I knew the road ahead was still long, but I believed that as long as I had my family by my side and my daughter's companionship, I could overcome all difficulties and welcome a bright future for me and Yutong. As for He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan, their tragic end was only the beginning. After divorcing He Mingyuan, I completely let go of the shadows of the past and threw myself wholeheartedly into taking care of Yutong and taking over the Xia family's business. Under my brother's patient guidance, I quickly became familiar with the company's operations. From clumsy and awkward at first to handling things with ease, even the company's veteran employees were impressed. Yutong, meanwhile, made many new friends at kindergarten. Every day when she came home, she would chatter endlessly about the fun things that happened at school, her smile growing brighter and brighter. I thought the matter of He Mingyuan and Zhao Guifan was over, that my daughter and I could finally live peacefully, but I never expected that an even bigger farce was waiting for us that afternoon. While I was in my office processing documents, my assistant suddenly rushed in, flustered. Miss Xia, something terrible. There's a couple downstairs demanding to see you. They say you stole their son and they want to settle the score with you. I frowned, puzzled. Stole their son? I've never met this couple, let alone stolen their son. Let them come up. I want to see what they're really after. Soon, the assistant led a middle-aged couple into the office. The man wore a faded jacket, the woman a simple dress, both with faces full of anger and anxiety. As soon as she saw me, the woman lunged forward, trying to grab my arm, but my assistant blocked her. Are you Xiao Wanqing? The woman's eyes were bloodshot as she shouted at me. You vicious woman, you stole my son Zishuan and hid him away. What are you up to, Zishuan? My heart stirred, and I instantly understood. Are you talking about He Zishuan? That's right, He Zishuan. The man stepped forward, his tone icy. Zishuan is our biological son, that old woman Zhao Guifan secretly took him away 5 years ago. We searched for him for 5 years, and only recently found out that he was adopted by He Mingyuan, but then He Mingyuan went bankrupt, Zhao Guifan was hospitalized, and our son disappeared. Later, we found out that you divorced He Mingyuan, so Zishuan must be hidden by you. Hand over our son immediately, or we'll call the police and let everyone know your evil deeds of stealing a child. So these were He Zishuan's biological parents. No wonder they came looking for me. I looked at their furious faces, feeling not a trace of panic, but rather a touch of irony. Calm down, both of you, I said, tapping the desk lightly, my voice steady. First, I did not steal He Zishuan, nor did I hide him. Second, He Zishuan was indeed secretly taken away by Zhao Guifan. He Mingyuan only found out about this later. Third, after He Mingyuan went bankrupt, he sent He Zishuan back to his biological parents. As for why you can't find him, I have no idea. You're lying, the woman roared, her voice cracking with fury. How could He Mingyuan possibly send our son back? He dotes on Zishuan so much. You must have forced him to hand the boy over, then hid him away. You're just jealous of Zishuan, jealous that he got He Mingyuan's love, so you wanted to drive him out, even take over his place. Jealous of him? I let out a cold laugh, the sound sharp and bitter. Why would I be jealous of a bastard child who stole my daughter's fatherly love and ruined my marriage? So what if He Mingyuan adored him? In the end, he found out that the boy wasn't even his own flesh and blood, and because of him, his family was destroyed, his reputation shattered. If I were you, I'd go find He Mingyuan right now and get the truth, instead of blindly accusing me without a shred of evidence. The man furrowed his brow, clearly wavering. He glanced at the woman beside him, then back at me, his tone softening just a fraction. Are you telling the truth? Did He Mingyuan really send our son back? Does he really not know that Zishuan isn't his biological child? Of course it's true, I said with a firm nod. I pulled out my phone, opened a copy of Zishuan's birth certificate and the paternity test report, and handed it to them. See for yourself. This is Zishuan's birth certificate. Your names are clearly written on it, and this is the paternity test between He Mingyuan and He Zishuan, proving they have no blood relation. He Mingyuan was deceived by Zhao Guifan too. Until I made these documents public and he learned the truth, the couple took the phone, their fingers trembling as they scrolled through the files. Their faces shifted from pale to ashen, then flushed with shame. The woman's tears began to fall instantly, her voice choked with sobs. So it was all true, that old hag Zhao Guifan, she tricked us all this time. Back then, we were poor, and I was gravely ill. We had no other choice but to let her take care of Zishuan temporarily. We never imagined she'd secretly take him away and lie to everyone, claiming he was He Mingyuan's son. The man's eyes reddened too, his fists clenched so tightly his knuckles turned white. His voice was thick with rage. That vicious old woman. We searched for Zishuan for 5 years, endured so much hardship and suffering, and she kept our son hidden by her side the whole time, letting him call another man father. We'll make her pay for this. Watching them in their grief-stricken state, I felt not a shred of sympathy. They had chosen to hand their child over to Zhao Guifan. Back then, they should have anticipated the consequences. Besides, He Zishuan had been spoiled rotten by Zhao Guifan and He Mingyuan over the years in the He family, indirectly destroying my life in Yutong's. As his biological parents, they bore an undeniable responsibility. Do you know where He Mingyuan is now? I asked softly. Since he said he sent He Zishuan back to you, he must know where the boy is. You can go ask him directly. The man shook his head, his tone defeated. We don't know where he is. After He Mingyuan went bankrupt, he vanished completely. We searched for him for a long time but found no trace. Zhao Guifan is in the hospital, but she's been unconscious. We can't get anything out of her. We were at our wits' end when we heard you divorced He Mingyuan, so we came to ask you for answers. Just then, my phone rang. It was my brother, Xiaoziu. I answered, and his anxious voice came through. Wanqing, are you okay? I heard a couple was causing trouble at your company. Did they scare you, brother? I'm fine, I said calmly. They're He Zishuan's biological parents. They came to ask me where he is. He Zishuan's biological parents. My brother's voice turned ice cold. They still have the nerve to come to you. If they hadn't handed the kid over to Zhao Guifan in the first place, none of this would have happened. Wanqing, don't bother with them. I'm on my way. After hanging up, I looked at the couple and said flatly, my brother is coming over. He might know where He Mingyuan is. Wait here for a bit. The couple nodded and sat down on the sofa, their faces still grim. The woman kept crying, murmuring Zishuan's name under her breath, while the man furrowed his brow, staring anxiously out the window. About half an hour later, my brother Xiaoziu rushed in. The moment he entered, he hurried to my side, scanning me from head to toe. Wanqing, are you all right? Did they do anything to you, brother? I'm fine. I shook my head. They just came to find out where He Zishuan is. They didn't do anything to me. Xiaoziu turned to look at the couple on the sofa, his gaze turning icy. You're He Zishuan's biological parents. The man quickly stood up and nodded. Yes, we are Zishuan's biological parents. Sir, do you know where He Mingyuan is? Do you know where our son is? Xiaoziu let out a cold laugh, his voice dripping with sarcasm. I know where He Mingyuan is, but why should I tell you? If you hadn't been greedy for money and handed your own son over to Zhao Guifan, none of this would have happened. If it weren't for He Zishuan, Wanqing and Yutong wouldn't have suffered so much, and He Mingyuan wouldn't have ended up like this. You still have the face to come looking for your son. I don't think you're even fit to be parents. The woman's tears flowed even harder, her voice breaking as she sobbed. We were at our wits' end back then, so we agreed to let Zhao Guifan take care of Zishuan. We never knew she'd secretly take him away. We never knew she'd make him call He Mingyuan father, and we never knew she'd mistreat Miss He and her daughter. Sir, we know we were wrong. Now we just want to find our son, take good care of him, and make up for our mistakes. Please, just tell us where He Mingyuan is. Tell us where Zishuan is. Please, make up for your mistakes. Xiaoziu roared, his voice thundering. The damage is already done. What good is talking about making amends now? Can you make up for the fright Yutong suffered? Can you make up for the hurt Wanqing endured? Can you make up for He Mingyuan's ruined reputation and destroyed family? You say you want to find your son now and take good care of him. Where were you when you should have been doing that all along? The man's face cycled through shades of white and green. He knew Xiaoziu was telling the truth. They really didn't deserve to be parents, but still, he couldn't bring himself to give up. clenching his fists so tightly the knuckles went white. His voice rang with stubborn determination. Sir, I know we were wrong, we know we don't deserve forgiveness, but Sichuan is innocent. He's a victim too, we're begging you. Please tell us where he is, we'll take good care of him, we swear, we'll never let him suffer again. I watched them, their faces twisted in grief and desperation, and felt something inside me waver. Yes, they had done wrong, but Sichuan was indeed blameless. He was just another casualty in this farce, brother, I said softly, tugging gently at my brother's sleeve. Just tell them where Minyuan is, let them go find him and ask about Sichuan themselves. After all, Sichuan is innocent too. Xiaozi frowned, his voice sharp with displeasure. Wanqing, why are you still helping them? They don't deserve your sympathy. It's not sympathy for them, I whispered, my voice barely audible. It's pity for Sichuan. He was tricked by Zhao Guifan since he was a child, raised to treat an enemy as a father. Now that Minyuan is bankrupt and Zhao Guifan is in a coma, he must be terrified, lost. Let's give them one chance. Let them go find their son. Xiaozi looked at my determined eyes, let out a helpless sigh, and finally relented. Fine, for your sake, I'll tell them where Minyuan is. He's hiding out in a small rental house on the outskirts of town, scraping by with odd jobs. As for Sichuan, I heard Minyuan sent him to an orphanage. Which one? I don't know. You'll have to ask Minyuan yourself. The couple shot to their feet, trembling with excitement, bowing repeatedly to me and my brother. Thank you, we'll go find Minyuan right now, we'll find our son. With that, they rushed out of the office, their footsteps echoing down the hall. I watched their retreating backs, a tangled knot of emotions twisting in my chest. I didn't know if they'd find Sichuan, or if they'd take proper care of him once they did, but I knew one thing for sure. None of this had anything to do with me anymore. All I wanted now was to take care of Yutong and live my own life. Wanqing, you're too kind, Xiaozi said, shaking his head with a wry smile. People like that don't deserve your compassion. If they ever dare to come bother you again, call me immediately. I nodded, managing a small smile. I know, brother, thank you. I won't be so quick to sympathize with others from now on. I'll just focus on taking care of myself in Yutong. That very night, my brother called me. He said the couple had found Minyuan and Sichuan too. It turned out Minyuan had sent the boy to an orphanage on the outskirts of town, leaving behind a sum of money. After the couple located Sichuan, they took him away, supposedly heading back to their hometown to start over. Minyuan, meanwhile, got a thorough beating from the couple and was forced to compensate them for all the years they'd spent searching for their child. Hearing this news, my heart remained still. Like a calm lake, not a single ripple stirred within me. This was exactly the karma Minyuan deserved. He had abandoned his own daughter for a son who wasn't even his, destroyed his marriage and career, and ended up like this. Pure poetic justice. Yutong lay beside me, already fast asleep, a sweet smile playing on her little face. I gently stroked her hair, a warm glow spreading through my chest. From now on, no one would ever disturb our peaceful life again. We would live happily together forever. But I hadn't expected the story to end there, though. Zhao Guifan remained in a coma. Her relatives suddenly showed up at my door, demanding that I share the cost of her hospital bills with Minyuan. They also claimed that part of the He family assets belonged to Zhao Guifan and insisted I return them. Seeing these unreasonable relatives, fury surged inside me like a tidal wave. Why should I be responsible for Zhao Guifan's medical expenses? Minyuan had already voluntarily left the family with nothing, leaving everything to me and Yutong. What right did they have to demand I hand over the property? My brother Xiaozi rushed over as soon as he heard. He faced those relatives with a roar that shook the room. You blood-sucking leeches. When Zhao Guifan was alive, she favored her illegitimate son and mistreated her own granddaughter. Now that she's in a coma, you come trying to steal the property. Let me make this clear. Don't even dream about it. The He family assets have all been left to Wanqing and Yutong. Zhao Guifan's hospital bills should be paid by Minyuan. Wanqing has nothing to do with it. If any of you dare to cause trouble here again, I'll call the police and have every single one of you thrown in jail. Those relatives were cowed by my brother's fury. They slunk away, tails between their legs, watching their pathetic retreat. The fire in my heart slowly died down. I knew that as long as I had my brother and my parents by my side, no one could bully me or Yutong. The night deepened. I held Yutong in my arms, leaning against the headboard, my heart full of hope for the future. I knew the road ahead was long, that there would be more difficulties and setbacks, but I believed that with my family beside me and my daughter's companionship, I could overcome any obstacle and welcome a bright future for both of us, and those who had hurt us had already received their just deserts. That was enough after the incident with Zhao Guifen's relatives. I thought life would finally settle into peace. I poured more energy into the Xiao Group's business, following my brother on projects and meeting clients. Within just 1 month, I independently closed 2 major deals, earning increasing recognition from the entire company. Yutong had also fully adjusted to kindergarten life. On weekends, she would come with me to the office, sitting quietly beside me drawing pictures, occasionally asking in her soft, milky voice, "Mommy, are you tired from work?" Every time, it melted away all the exhaustion in my heart. But the calm didn't last. That morning, as soon as I arrived at the office, I saw the department head standing grim-faced at the doorway, their brows furrowed as if some catastrophe had struck. "President Xia, you're finally here." Sales Department Manager Wang was the first to rush forward, his voice urgent and strained. "Something huge has happened. 3 of our core clients suddenly announced they're terminating cooperation, and they're threatening to hold us liable for breach of contract, claiming our products have quality issues. On top of that, a flood of slanderous posts about our company has appeared online, accusing Xiao Group of cutting corners and defrauding customers. Our stock price is already starting to drop." My heart lurched, sinking like a stone into icy water. Xiao Group's product quality had always been the industry gold standard, never a single issue. These 3 core clients had been partners for years, our relationship rock solid. How could they all terminate at once, and where was this wave of defamation coming from? Something was definitely wrong behind the scenes. "Call an emergency meeting with all department heads immediately," I said, forcing down the panic rising in my chest, my voice steady and commanding. "Manager Wang, compile the cooperation files and termination letters from all 3 clients." Manager Li, contact the PR team and start handling the negative online posts. Trace the sources. Manager Zhang, do a full quality inspection across the production line and prepare a detailed report proving our products are flawless. Everyone, move. "Yes, President Xia," the team responded in unison, scattering to their tasks. Inside the conference room, the atmosphere was suffocatingly tense. I stared at the termination letters spread across the table, my brows knitted tight. The reasons were identical. Upon inspection, Xiao Group's products failed to meet contractual standards, posing serious quality risks. Yet there were no specific inspection reports or evidence attached. The online smear posts were riddled with holes, images taken out of context, clearly fabricated by someone with malicious intent. "President Xia, I've traced it," Manager Li said, rushing back into the room with a grim expression. "All the negative posts came from anonymous accounts with scattered IP addresses, but we found that behind those accounts are former subordinates of the He family pulling the strings. Also, I discovered that those 3 terminating clients have all recently met with Lin Hao, the head of Lin Group, and Lin Hao used to be sworn brothers with He Mingyuan, former He family subordinates." Lin Hao, I let out a cold laugh, the pieces clicking into place. "So that's it. He Mingyuan destroyed his own reputation, so he's using Lin Hao and his old cronies to try and bring down Xiao Group. They're out for revenge against us." Just then, my brother Xiao Zi stormed in, his face flushed with fury. "Wanqing, I've confirmed everything. He Mingyuan and Lin Hao are behind this whole mess. He Mingyuan is hiding at Lin Hao's place, stirring up his former subordinates to smear us, and he bribed those 3 core clients to deliberately terminate cooperation. They're trying to force us to our knees." "Brother, don't get worked up," I said gently, patting his shoulder, my tone calm. "If they want to play, we'll see this through to the end. They claim our products are defective. We'll release the inspection reports and publicly refute them. They want to manipulate public opinion. We'll gather evidence and expose their conspiracy. They bribed our clients. We'll contact those clients directly and unmask their scheme, and if that doesn't work, we'll sue them for breach of contract." Our father soon received the news and came to the company himself, sitting at the head of the table. His eyes were icy cold. "Lin Hao and He Mingyuan, how dare they, to think they'd attack our family's business? Ziyu, Wanqing, go ahead and do what you need to do. I'll bear all the consequences for the company, no matter the cost." get to the bottom of this and make sure they pay the price they deserve. With my parents and brother backing me, I felt a surge of confidence. We immediately drafted a counterattack plan. First, the PR team would hold a press conference to release the quality inspection reports, debunk the online rumors, and present evidence proving He Mingyuan and Lin Hao were behind the scheme. Second, the legal department would prepare a lawsuit against the three breaching clients, demanding they honor their contractual obligations, while also gathering evidence of collusion between Lin Hao and He Mingyuan to sue them for defamation and commercial slander. Third, my brother and I would personally visit those three clients to expose He Mingyuan and Lin Hao's plot and try to salvage the partnerships. Fourth, we'd assign people to monitor He Mingyuan and Lin Hao's movements to prevent any further sabotage. On the day of the press conference, the venue was packed with media reporters. I stepped up to the podium myself, holding the quality inspection report, and addressed the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, hello. Recently, false accusations have been circulating online, claiming Xiao Group's products have quality issues, and 3 clients have terminated cooperation. Let me make this clear, this is all a conspiracy. I raised the report high. This is the quality inspection certificate for all products from our production line, issued by an authoritative agency. It clearly shows that our products fully meet contractual standards. There are no quality problems whatsoever. As for the 3 clients terminating cooperation, it's because He Mingyuan and Lin Hao bribed them to deliberately breach their contracts, all to take revenge on me and my family. With that, I played a recording. It captured He Mingyuan and Lin Hao's conversation clearly, plotting how to bribe the clients and smear Xiao Group. Then I displayed chat logs of He Mingyuan inciting his former subordinates to post defamatory content, along with photos of Lin Hao meeting the 3 clients. The room erupted. Journalists thrust their hands up, cameras flashing wildly at the evidence. President Xia, are you confident you'll win this lawsuit? President Xia, He Mingyuan is hiding at Lin Hao's place. How do you plan to handle that? President Xia, do you think He Mingyuan and Lin Hao will try anything else? I answered calmly, rest assured, everyone, we've gathered ample evidence, and we will win this lawsuit. He Mingyuan, Lin Hao, and those 3 breaching clients will all face the legal consequences they deserve. As for He Mingyuan, we already know where he's hiding, and he'll pay for his actions soon enough. I believe that justice may be delayed, but it will never be absent. The press conference ended, and the online public opinion instantly reversed. The posts that had been smearing the Xiao Group were deleted one after another. Netizens all stood up to support us, accusing He Mingyuan and Lin Hao of being despicable and shameless. He Mingyuan is so malicious. After ruining his own reputation, he wants to bring down the Xiao Group. This is sheer insanity. Lin Hao is no better. Helping He Mingyuan do such a dirty deed, he'll get his comeuppance sooner or later. Support President Xia. They must pay the price they deserve. At the same time, my brother and I personally visited those 3 clients. At first, they were stubborn, refusing to admit they had been bought off. But when we showed them the photos of their meetings with Lin Hao and the bank records of He Mingyuan transferring them money, they finally panicked and had to confess everything. President Xia, Mr. Xia, we know we were wrong, one of the clients said, his face full of guilt. He Mingyuan and Lin Hao forced us. They said if we didn't terminate the cooperation, they would destroy our companies. We had no choice but to agree. We're willing to continue working with the Xiao Group and bear all the breach of contract penalties. Please don't sue us. Watching their pathetic state, I felt no sympathy at all. For their own interests, they had easily betrayed partners they had worked with for years. People like that didn't deserve forgiveness, but considering the company's long-term development, we ultimately agreed to their request to continue cooperation, on the condition that they publicly apologize and compensate us for all our losses. After resolving the client issue, we immediately arranged for personnel to cooperate with the police in locating He Mingyuan and Lin Hao's hideout. When the police burst into the room, He Mingyuan and Lin Hao were drinking and chatting, still discussing how to continue bringing down the Xiao Group. Seeing the police, their faces instantly turned pale, and they collapsed to the floor. As He Mingyuan was being arrested, his eyes were filled with resentment and anger. He roared at me, Xiao Wanqing, I won't let you off. Even as a ghost, I won't let you go. I looked at him coldly, my voice calm and steady. He Mingyuan, you've brought this on yourself. You hurt me and Yutong, slandered the Xiao group, and conspired with Lin Hao in your schemes. These are all the consequences you deserve. Reflect on your actions in prison. After He Mingyuan and Lin Hao were taken away, the court quickly held a trial for the case. In the end, He Mingyuan was sentenced to 5 years in prison for defamation, commercial defamation, and transferring marital assets during marriage, and was required to compensate the Xiao group for all losses. Lin Hao was sentenced to 3 years in prison for defamation and commercial defamation, and was also required to compensate the Xiao group. The 3 clients who breached their contracts were ordered to pay penalties and publicly apologize to the Xiao group. The moment I heard the verdict, a huge weight lifted off my heart. The dark clouds that had hung over me for years finally dissipated completely. All those who had hurt me, Yutong, and the Xiao family had received their just deserts. That evening, the Xiao family held a dinner party to celebrate the victory. My parents, my brother, and Yutong sat around the dining table, their faces beaming with joy. Yutong, holding her little spoon, picked up my favorite pork rib and placed it on my plate, her childish voice sweet and clear. Mommy, you're amazing, the bad guys are all gone. Looking at my daughter's innocent smile, my heart warmed, and tears welled up uncontrollably. This journey had been filled with so much pain and hardship, but thankfully, I had my family's support. Thankfully, I hadn't given up, and in the end, I had found the light. Wanqing, from now on, no one can bully you and Yutong anymore, my mother said, holding my hand, her voice gentle. Take good care of yourself in Yutong, work hard, and live your life to the fullest. Mom, I understand, I nodded, smiling. I'll be fine from now on. I'll make Yutong the happiest child in the world, and I'll work hard to make the Xiao group even better. I won't let you down. My brother also laughed and said, Wanqing, I'll handle the company from now on. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do, no matter what difficulties you face. Your brother will always have your back. My father looked at us, a satisfied smile spreading across his face. Good, good. The children of the Xiao family should be this strong and responsible. From now on, we'll live happily as a family, no longer bothered by those messy things. As the night deepened, the dinner party gradually came to an end. I held the sleeping Yutong in my arms and stood on the balcony, gazing at the countless lights in the city. My heart was filled with hope for the future. I knew the road ahead was still long, and there might be small setbacks along the way, but I believed that as long as I had my family by my side and my daughter's companionship, I would have the courage to face anything. Let the painful past be completely turned over. From now on, I would live for myself, for Yutong, and for all the family who loved me. I would live my life to the fullest, and let Yutong grow up healthy and happy, surrounded by love, and those who had hurt us would never appear in our lives again. A few days later, news came from the hospital. Xiao Guifan had passed away after rescue efforts failed. Hearing this, I felt not a single ripple of emotion. In her life, she had been biased and selfish, mistreating her own granddaughter and deceiving her son. To end up like this was the fate she deserved. I didn't attend her funeral, nor did I feel any guilt. She had never treated me and Yutong as family, so there was no reason for us to grieve her death. As the days passed, the Xiao group, under the joint efforts of my brother and me, grew better and better, becoming a leading enterprise in the industry. Yutong gradually grew up, becoming more cheerful and sensible, with excellent grades. Every time I went to parent-teacher conferences, the teacher would constantly praise her. Occasionally, I would think about the past, but there was no hatred left in my heart, only relief. Those experiences, though painful, had made me stronger and more mature. I was grateful that I hadn't been crushed by the pain of the past, and grateful that I still had the love of my family and my daughter. The setting sun painted the sky in hues of gold and amber as I strolled through our neighborhood. My daughter Yutong, small hand held securely in mine, she darted ahead with the boundless energy of childhood, her ponytail bouncing, before turning back to flash me a radiant smile. Watching her joyful face, my heart swelled with a quiet, profound happiness. This, I knew deep in my soul, was everything I had ever wanted, a life simple yet complete, peaceful yet warm. Seasons passed, spring melting into autumn, and time slipped away like grains of sand through an hourglass. It had been 3 years since He Mingyuan was Imprisoned in Zhaoguif and departed from this world. 3 years. In that time, Yutong and I had shed the dark clouds of our past completely, emerging into a life that felt like a piece of caramelized candy wrapped in sunlight, sweet, solid, and enduring. Under the joint stewardship of my brother and me, the Xia Group had expanded its empire steadily, not only cementing our position as industry leaders but also venturing into new energy, public education, philanthropy, and more. Our reputation soared alongside our profits, and I had transformed from that wounded, confused woman trapped in a broken marriage into a poised, confident captain of industry, standing tall and capable. Morning sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, spilling golden warmth across my spacious study. I had just finished reviewing a document for an overseas partnership when I heard light, hurried footsteps approaching from the hallway. A moment later, a little girl with a bouncy ponytail came skipping in, holding a piece of drawing paper high above her head. It was Yutong. At 7 years old, she was already a first grader, and the timid shadows of her infancy had faded from her features, replaced by a lively, open brightness. Mommy, look at my drawing. Yutong ran up to me, tilting her little face upward, thrusting the paper into my hands. Her eyes sparkled, brimming with eager anticipation. I set down my pen and took the drawing, studying it carefully. On the paper was a portrait of our family of 4, my white-haired grandparents with gentle smiles, my warm-hearted brother, and Yutong and me holding hands. Every face beamed with joy. The background was a sun-drenched courtyard filled with colorful little flowers. In the bottom right corner, in her childish, unsteady handwriting, were the words, "My happy family." My heart melted instantly, a wave of warmth washing over me. I reached out and gently tousled her hair, my voice soft as honey. "Yutong, you drew this so beautifully. It's wonderful." Yutong puffed up her little chest with pride, then climbed onto my lap and wrapped her arms around my neck, snuggling close. "Mommy, today we have a parent-teacher meeting at school. The teacher said parents need to share their parenting tips. Can you come?" "Of course I can," I nodded, smiling. No matter how busy Mommy gets, I will never miss Yutong's parent-teacher meeting. Over the years, no matter how heavy my workload, I always made time for her, taking her to school, attending her school events, reading with her, drawing with her. I was determined that she would never feel the lack of a father's love, that no void would remain in her heart, and thankfully, with the double affection from her grandparents and her uncle, Yutong's childhood was even happier than I had dared to imagine. "Yes," Yutong cheered, planting a kiss on my cheek before hopping off my lap and skipping out of the room. "I'm going to tell Grandma that Mommy is coming to the parent-teacher meeting." I watched her joyful retreating figure, the smile lingering on my lips long after she disappeared. Just then, my brother Xiaozi pushed open the door and walked in, a file in his hand and a satisfied grin on his face. "Wanqing, great news. The partnership with that European new energy company is finally finalized. This opens up our overseas market completely." "Really? That's amazing." I took the file from him, my heart flooding with joy. We had been negotiating this deal for a full 6 months, overcoming countless obstacles, geographical barriers, policy hurdles, endless rounds of talks. Now, finally, it was settled. It felt like the best reward for all our hard work over the years. "Exactly," my brother chuckled. "Mom and Dad are going to be over the moon. By the way, I'll come with you to the parent-teacher meeting this afternoon. We can pick Yutong up together afterward and take her to get her favorite ice cream cake." I nodded, beaming. "That would be perfect. Yutong will be even happier knowing her uncle is coming too." That afternoon, the classroom was packed with parents. Yutong's homeroom teacher, a gentle woman with a warm smile, introduced me to the room. "Parents, this is Yutong's mother, President Xiao of the Xiao Group. Yutong has been an outstanding student. Not only does she rank at the top of her class academically, but she is also helpful and friendly to her classmates. This is clearly a reflection of her parents' dedicated upbringing. Now, let's welcome President Xia to share her parenting insights with us." I stood up, taking the microphone the teacher handed me. My gaze swept across the room before settling on Yutong, who was sitting straight in the corner, her little face tilted up at me, her eyes filled with pride and admiration. I took a deep breath and began to speak. "Hello, everyone. I wouldn't call myself a parenting expert. I'm just a mother who wants to give her child all the love in the world. I once went through a failed marriage. During those days, I was lost and Afraid that I couldn't give my child a complete family, afraid that she would grow up feeling inferior because she lacked a father's love. The parents listened quietly, their eyes showing understanding and empathy. I continued, my voice steady, but I later realized that for a child, a complete family doesn't necessarily mean having both parents present. It means being surrounded by love and a sense of security. Over the years, I've worked hard to balance my career and my family, making sure to spend as much time with my daughter as possible. My family has also given Yutong double the affection, her grandparents' meticulous care, her uncle's doting love, so she has grown up enveloped in warmth. I've told her that no matter what difficulties she faces, her family will always be her strongest support. I've also taught her to be brave, kind, optimistic, and to learn to forgive the unpleasant things of the past. At this point, I looked directly at Yutong, my eyes soft with tenderness. Fortunately, Yutong is very understanding. She hasn't been affected by the shadows of the past. Instead, she has grown into an outgoing, confident, and compassionate child. I want to tell all of you, a child's growth requires companionship, respect, and love. As long as we nurture them with our hearts, they will surely grow into towering trees. The moment my words ended, the classroom erupted in warm applause. Yutong clapped her hands vigorously, her little face glowing with pride. When the meeting ended, she ran over and hugged my legs tightly. Mommy, you were amazing. All my classmates said they wish they had a mom like you. My brother walked over with a grin, ruffling Yutong's hair. Of course she is. Your mom is the best. Come on, let's go get that ice cream cake to celebrate your mom's speech. Yes, thank you, Uncle, Yutong cheered, grabbing my brother's hand and skipping ahead. I followed behind them, watching their silhouettes, my heart brimming with happiness. The sunlight fell upon us, warm and gentle, and even the air seemed to carry a sweet, lingering fragrance. Days passed one after another, plain yet filled with happiness. Occasionally, I would catch whispers about him Minuan from others, how he was behaving poorly in prison, how his sentence had been extended for brawling, how he once sent someone to find me, begging to see Yutong one last time, but each time, I refused. Not because I still harbored hatred for him, but because I didn't want him to disturb the peaceful life Yutong and I had built. To me, he was nothing more than a wisp of smoke drifting past my eyes, not worth a single ounce of my energy anymore. One time, I took Yutong to an orphanage for a charity event. Watching the children who had no parents by their side, Yutong tugged at my hand and whispered softly, Mommy, these kids are so pitiful. They don't have a daddy or mommy to love them. I stroked her hair and said gently, that's why we have to do our part to help them, so they can feel warmth too. And Yutong, you must know, you are very blessed. You have mommy, grandpa, grandma, and uncle to love you. Yutong nodded, then ran over to those children, sharing the books and toys she had brought, and even playing with them on her own. Watching my daughter's kind heart, I felt a deep sense of relief. The wounds of the past had not made her cold. Instead, they had taught her to cherish and be grateful. That, perhaps, was the greatest gain of these years. At the end of the year, the Xia family held a grand family banquet, inviting close friends, relatives, and the core employees of the company. During the feast, my father gave a speech. He looked at my brother and me, his face beaming with pride. Today, I am truly happy. I see the children of the Xia family have grown up, responsible, accomplished. The Xia Corporation's success today would not have been possible without Ziyu and Wanqing's hard work, nor without everyone's support and help. I hope that from now on, our family will always be harmonious and happy, and that the Xia Corporation will only get better. Everyone raised their glasses in celebration. The atmosphere at the banquet was warm and intimate. Yutong, wearing a pretty little dress, played with the other children from the relatives' families, her laughter crisp and joyful. My brother, my parents, and I stood together, looking at the scene before us, our hearts filled with emotion. The storms of the past had long become bygone. Today, we had finally welcomed the warmth and tranquility of the years. After the banquet ended, I held the sleeping Yutong in my arms and stood on the villa's terrace. The night was still, the stars brilliant, and the city lights flickered in the distance. Yutong slept soundly in my embrace, a sweet smile on her little face. I gently stroked her hair and silently said to myself, Yutong, from now on, Mommy will always be by your side. I'll give you the best life, and make sure you're forever happy. My brother walked over and stood beside me, his voice soft. Wanqing, you've worked hard all these years. I smiled and shook my head. It's not hard. as long as Yutong can grow up healthy and happy, as long as our family is safe and sound, no hardship is too much. Yes, life is never smooth sailing, there will always be storms and bumps along the way, but as long as you have people who love you, people you want to protect, you'll find the courage to face anything. Those past pains will eventually be healed by time. Those shadows of yesterday will eventually be scattered by the sunlight. Now, I no longer cling to the hatred of the past, nor am I lost about the direction of the future. I have a successful career, a family that loves and cherishes me, and a kind and adorable daughter. This kind of life, simple yet happy, calm yet warm, is all I need. The dust has settled, and the years are warm, for the rest of my life. I only wish to be with my family, sharing 3 meals and 4 seasons, wrapped in warmth. I only wish for Yutong to grow up surrounded by love, to live out her own brilliance. This is the completeness I have always wanted.